Making sure everything is where it needs to be before we get started. And that should do it. Let me see if I can see the chat here. Yes. All right, perfect. Great. Well, welcome everyone. I haven't been able to stream for the past few weeks because I've had lots of stuff going on. So, and now we're into Maymester, which is a condensed sort of 14-day Creative Cloud craziness, introducing Photoshop today. But I did want to make sure to get at least a small stream out, right? So I haven't done it in a few weeks. So I almost did this last week at a different day because last week Adobe released After Effects update with a properties panel, which, I mean, I've been waiting for the properties panel in After Effects for decades, so it's really cool to see it actually appear. So we're going to have a look at that today, just run through a little quick project with some text and some images and things like that. And yeah. So let's close out the What's New area. And I'm going to create a new project in After Effects. So here we are. Let's create a new composition. And we'll do it 1280 by 720, 30 frames per second. Let's make it like, I don't know, 7 seconds in length. Sounds lucky. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. And there we are. We have our comp here and the timeline expressed down below. Now, the new thing being the properties panel, if we look up here, we can see the properties panel is stacked along with everything else here. Now, of course, you can always open and close these things from the window menu. So there's properties right there. And properties has been in beta for a while now. And it's nice to see it come out. The other thing that I would love to see come out in the next few months to After Effects proper from the beta would be the inclusion of 3D. So 3D models. If you download the public beta and look at it, it actually works really, really cool. So, yeah. Let me know how you all are doing as well. Are you having a good week? Having a good day? What are you working on? All that stuff. Okay, so I grabbed some stuff from Adobe Stock. I've got an image from Adobe Stock. Let's pop it right into our project bin. And then we're going to bring it directly onto our stage here. You can see it's a rather large image, right? So generally, what's the first thing you need to do when you bring in a large image in After Effects, right? You need to scale that thing down. And you used to have to go in here and just kind of twirl down your transform properties for the layer, find scale, and then you could twirl it, you know, change the values here, and it would be reflected in your composition window. But if we look in our properties panel right now, because we do have this layer selected, we actually get the layer transform properties for this image. Hey Matt, how are you doing? Popping in to say hi, that's great. So Matt is a fellow Adobe Education leader. And Reverb Mike is here. Yeah, fit to comp. Well, I don't want it to, I don't want the whole thing inside of there. I do want it a bit, something like, I don't know, something like that. And you can see as we're like moving this around, right? And changing the scale, that everything is being reflected inside of my properties panel here. So I think we'll start somewhere around there. Matt says that's a shot of students after they get grades. Yeah. Oftentimes, it would be more a shot of a student emailing frantically to say like, "Hey, I'm trying to turn in all my missing work, and I'm not able to. Why?" Should have used that. But yeah, so there we go. I am gonna just do like a basic scale on this. Just scale it out, I think is gonna work good. So I'm gonna toggle my stopwatch, and note, right, I can do it from the old way down here, or I can do it in my properties. And the properties panel comes in really useful when you just want to click something and change the properties. You don't want to like, go down throughout the different, property groups and everything and find your property and expand it and blah, 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 right? For each thing. I can have 10 layers here, and all I gotta do is click on each of the layers, and I get the properties that show up right inside of my properties panel. And of course, it's nothing new, right? Macromedia products have had this for forever. And even Photoshop and Illustrator both got properties panels over the last few years. Well, I guess it's been quite a few years now, but it still seems very new to me. Anyhow, let's give it a look here. So I'm gonna toggle on my stopwatch, which of course you can do right there, and you even get the keyframe, what do you call it, navigator right there. And I'm gonna go to my 7-second mark, and let's go ahead and just add another keyframe right there. And going back to that first one, we'll scale this sucker in just a bit. So when we play it back, I had both keyframes highlighted. You can see they're both selected there, which is not what I want. So let's go ahead and fix this one. This was about 55, I think. Joseph. There we are. There we go. Let's throw a little easies on these. Yeah, it's better. So yeah, Reverb Mike says properties panel is a bit annoying, duplicating info that's in the panel right next to it. Yeah, I mean, definitely if you're used to working down here, then yeah, it is a duplicate if you're not expanding this stuff, right? And it's a little weird too. I kind of wonder if, and I don't know if you have an opinion on this, Reverb Mike, right? Because the effect controls already is sort of a properties panel, right? So yeah, I kind of wonder why these aren't merged into a single point to just tweak all the different properties, whether they're effect properties or transform properties or whatever properties there are. Because yeah, we got stuff in a number of different places now. But like I said, Reverb Mike says yes. That's good. Yeah, I mean that would be my kind of wish for this, is that everything kind of gets consolidated. And of course, going down to the properties down here, I don't see that ever going away because people are so used to it, right? But if you don't want to drill down there, I can see a unified property panel and effect controls panel being, kind of like the ultimate form of this as we go in here. So let's have another look here. I do want to, speaking of effects, right? So for those who aren't used to After Effects, we do have the effect controls panel, which I've opened up here. And the effect controls panel is where you change the properties of different effects that you place on your content, right? So if I go into my effects and presets over here, and I want to do some color correction, let's just do some basic levels, right? So you can see through the histogram here that And it's obvious by looking at it, right? That the colors aren't exactly, the tones aren't exactly pushed to the edges. So let's do that. There we go. Make it darker. Bump that contrast up through the histogram. That's pretty good. So as you can see up here, effect controls show all the effect properties, right? And if we look over here, they don't show up inside of our properties panel because they're not connected, at least not yet. And I don't know what Adobe's plan for it is, right? They've been testing out the properties panel for a while. Who knows? Anyway, let's put some text in here too, because this is also a useful way of working with the properties panel. And taking on what Matt said earlier, I'll have her say like, ah, my grades. Oh no. So yeah, so you can see here, the properties panel also has text paragraph and text animation properties inside of it. So that's pretty good. This is a lot more stuff. And it's like this for shapes too. So if I drew out a shape here, I would have access to all the different shape properties. But first things first, right? Let's go ahead and choose a different font than Helvetica. I always go to Peachy Keen for everything, but I don't think it's appropriate in this case. So let's find something a little strenuous. Oh yeah, strenuous. Looks kind of, what's the term? I always forget this term. Distressed. It looks distressed. So with my distressed text here, we can make it pop out from her head. Please just punch. So yeah, so check it out. So we click on this and effect controls and our transform properties. Click on this one. Of course, there's no effect, but I do get my layer transform properties as well as text paragraph and text animation properties. So we can add an animator for our text just straight from here, which is neat, right? All right, so what do we want to do? We want this to come in like that, and then probably have the text pop in somewhere around here. And we'll just make it kind of pop out of her face. So we'll do some scale and some position changes. Here and there. And yeah, I know that After Effects is a, you know, serious tool to a lot of people, but there's no reason you can't have a bit of fun with it too, right? You know, let's do some opacity changes as well. And I'm going to try to use the properties panel as much as possible here because that's the focus of what we're dealing with in this particular stream, right? Opacity, bleep, and opacity. Take that down. I'm not going to take it down all the way to 0. We'll have it pop in kind of semi-opaque. And we'll just go with it, right? Have this guy kind of come in easy, ramp up kind of hard towards the end with the opacity. Go crazy, Joseph. It's too slow. Let's fix it. So, yeah. We're just gonna shift these keyframes over a little. And we could even have the opacity one kind of trail a bit. And oops, I don't want to save that yet. Let's change the fill color. There we are. Yeah, it's pretty rough. The grades. Oops, did not mean to do that. All right. So let's have a look over here and see. Oh yeah, so we're not doing super bad in terms of Behance. Oh boy. What else do we want to do? So I gotta make this quick because I have to teach pretty soon. That's like the whole idea is I'm squeezing these little quick things because I'm teaching every day for the next couple of weeks. So what else do I want to do? Let's put in let's do a wave warp distortion effect on her. Oh yeah. There we go. This is how it is, you know? So default wave warp. Oh, and wave warp is, wow, it looks like she's just melting. That's great. Let's change some of the properties of the wave warp here. Let's start it out pretty severe and then pull it back, right? Wave speed, that's fine. Okay. We'll wait for this to render a little bit so we can see the action of the wave warp, and then I'm just going to pull it back so that it becomes less warpy. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do... Oh, look at that. She is not having a great time, you know? So let's go ahead and add in height width. Yeah, it does. Reverb Mike mentions the Witch and the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, it does look like she is melting. All right, let's go around here and we'll just pull these back, taking them down minimal. Minima. Maybe keep a little bit of shimmer in there. Well. Okay. Actually, let's take the speed. So wave speed is at 1 right now. So this is the thing. This would be perfect right now, right? So, right, I can't access my keyframes inside of here. And because it's not unified with this, I can't access them there either. Because it'd be great to have this little kind of thing in here, but we don't have that. So we gotta use the old way and just twirl it down. Effects, wave warp. And then I can add my little keyframe and I get my keyframe navigation back and forth and everything. So it's all fine right there. And thanks. Wave speed, we're just gonna take it down. Like 0.2, 0.3, whatever. Alright. Stop saving, Joseph. I'm a compulsive saver. Oh my goodness, she's just like flipping out here. Look at that. I kind of almost feel like this needs like high-pitched, just like, you know, visceral scream with it as well. It's so stupid. Oh well. We'll let this thing render. We'll play it back. and see if there's anything that needs adjusting. And that'll do for today. And here we go. It's almost ready. Oh yeah. Ah, look at her go. Cool. Okay. Shatter the text. Oh, shoot. It's shattered. Text. Oh, I busted the hell out of my text. I do have to go, though. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna... That's a good idea, shatter the text, but let us wrap. So I'm gonna go ahead and say composition. Let us add to render queue. I'm gonna output that to my downloads. I call it grades.mp4 and save. Render. Very fast because it's already pre-rendered. Cool. Right on. So that was fun. And we got to play with the properties panel a little bit. Oh, and I did mention about shapes, right? So like if I go ahead and, you know, drag out a shape here, look at that. All sorts of shape properties in the properties panel as well. Not only the layer transform properties, but also these different bits and pieces here, which of course you can get to all this stuff inside the timeline, but here it brings it all out, right? And makes it accessible all the time without having to twirl things down and all that stuff. Okay, cool. I must go. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Reverb Mike, and everyone else who has come to this short little stream. It's only like a 20-minute stream today, but that's how we're going to do it the next couple of weeks for Mainmaster. All right. Bye, everyone. I don't want